Hello, welcome to a tutorial on data collection for Reddit. In this tutorial, we'll first familiarize ourselves with the social networking platform Reddit, and then we'll look at ways to collect data from the internet. Particularly, we'll look at the library pro, which is written in Python. When we open Reddit, this is the home page that you're seeing on your screen. As you can see, there are some trending posts and there is a homepage content. In Reddit, interactions are done via comments and upvotes, which are similar interaction patterns we see in other social networking platforms. Reddit also offers a community experience with something called a subreddit. For example, this subreddit r/Olympics talks about, you might have guessed, Olympics. There is a search option. Let us search for a keyword India. The results for this search keyword India are as follows. We can see best results, posts, communities and users. The best results consist communities, which as we have already established are subreddits, as well as there are a lot of posts which mention India. As we can see, the recent Australia versus India is being talked a lot about on this platform. Now, let us look at a post and see what interactions are being recorded. This is the post title and it has got 2.3k upvotes. And this post was made by a user named Cricket Match Bot. As we can see, this is the body of the post, this is the title, and there are a lot of comments. In fact, there are 45.1k comments. In each comment, user can interact directly with the post. For example, this user has commented directly on the post. However, this second user is interacting with the comment. Multiple levels of interaction on a single comment are a common thing on Reddit. Now, let's go back and see the subreddit India. If we look at the right side, we can see that there is a list of rules and a list of related communities. Related communities is a great way to find links between multiple communities and find very specific subreddits for our taste. As well as there is a list of moderators. The moderators are people who make the rules for a given subreddit. For example, in this subreddit, the following rules are made by these moderators. Another interesting aspect of Reddit is flair. We are already familiar with hashtags from multiple social networks. Reddit has chosen flares as a hashtag. A hashtag basically connects a post with a topic. Similarly, a flare connects a post with a topic. Now, if we look at the posts, there are some posts that contain multimedia content like images. Videos are also available in the subreddit. Another interesting aspect of Reddit are these cross links. This is a link from a news source called Alt News. Now that we have a background of Reddit, let us see how to collect data. To collect data, we have to first sign up or log in with our account. As you can see, we have just signed up on Reddit. Right now, I'm on old.reddit.com. This website is an older UI version of Reddit. On this web page, I'll go to Preferences. Once we are at Preferences, we go to Apps. Inside the Apps, click on Create an App. Let us give a name to our app and make sure that you click on Script. We are building a script based application particularly for personal use. Let us add a description and you can add an about URL as well as a redirect URL. Let us click on Create App. As soon as I clicked on Create, given that these keys can reveal personal information, I am not going to include them in the lecture. Now that I have a secret key and personal key, let us look at how to collect data using Pro. I am using a 3.7 Python notebook and I have already installed Pro. Pandas is a library to manage data in tables, particularly data frames efficiently. Let us go ahead and execute the code. As you can see, it works perfectly. Before we can start collecting data, firstly we have to supply the authentication credentials to Pro. These are the credentials that Pro would need. A client ID, which is a 14-digit ID you will see next to the app icon on your Reddit page. A client secret is a long key which you will see just below the client ID. A password is your Reddit password. User agent is the name you would have supplied for your application. Username is your Reddit username. Now I'm going to fill these parameters with my own data. As you can see, I have authenticated by supplying all the necessary credentials to Pro. Now let us start exploring the subreddit India. Firstly, we have to define the subreddit in which our Pro authenticated object can look into. It is done by using the function subreddit with a string India. Once we have made the subreddit India variable, we are getting hot posts with a 100 number limit. Given that we have got all the 100 posts, let us first print the first post and see what kind of information we are getting. As you can see, the title of the first post in our data is Form Bills 2020 Protest. It is from the subreddit India and the post has a 1612 upvotes, or also called score. This is the ID of our post and here is a URL for the post. Let's go to the URL. As you can see, this is the title, and here are the upvotes, and this is the body of our post. If you look at the body, which comes as self text, each of the URL and the entire body is present here, which matches our post. Now let us form a data frame with all the 100 posts we got in the India subreddit. We are making a dictionary with title, subreddit, score, ID, URL, number of comments, the time at which it is created, and the body of a post. Now the dictionary variable has all our posts. Let us create a data frame from the dictionary. As I have said earlier, a data frame is a more structured way of maintaining data in Python. df.head shows the first 5 posts in any data frame. Here we can see that each post title, subreddit, score, ID, etc. are available. However, it is interesting to note that body is missing on a few posts. Well, it is because these posts do not have a body. They contain multimedia information such as images, external links, or even sometimes tweets. Also, if there is a video without a body, the post will look something alike. Now that we have explored data on India subreddit, let us look at how to get data from any subreddit. To achieve this, we set the subreddit as all. Let us keep the limit at 100 and start collecting the data. Just like the earlier example, we'll create dictionary. It takes more time. Maybe it is because the number of comments are more. Now, let us create a data frame from the dictionary we just built. We'll examine the data frame by using the head. As you can see, the scores are more, the number of comments are more. And interesting enough, none of the top 5 posts has a body, but I'm sure there will be some posts with a body text. Each of these posts are redirecting to another URL. Let us examine how many subreddits were there in the top 100 posts. The number of subreddits are 93. Out of the 100 subreddits, 93 are unique subreddits. Given that we have taken all the data and we are working on the notebook, we cannot access the data once we close a notebook. So it is advisable to save all the information we capture into files. One way of doing it is to use Pandas To CSV function. This function translates a data frame into a CSV file. Similarly, I am writing all posts to a data frame as well. In this line, let us try to load the data. As you can see, the data is successfully loaded. Let us test. You can see that the body, the ID, etc. are loaded perfectly. Because of the read write, there might be slight mismatches such as not a number, but the data is intact. Understand what all fields we can collect. For example, in the tutorial, we have seen that we can collect the title, the body, number of upvotes, the time at which a particular post was made, etc. So, let us look at the prod documentation and understand what are the things we can do. You can find the prod documentation at prod.readthedocs.io. You can find the prod documentation at prod.readthedocs.io. We see quick start and how to install Pro, authentication via OAuth. We have already done this. Configuring Pro, running multiple instances. Let's go to the Reddit instance. Reddit instance is what we have created in the tutorial. Here we can see that there are multiple functions that we can call with the Reddit instance. For example, the reddit.user gives the current username, meaning your own name, and it lets you interact with Reddit. As you can see, the reddit.user gives us all the friends, the karma points, etc. etc. As well as we can change preferences, we can add ourselves to subreddits, and so on. Similarly, to start learning about something, the Pro documentation also has tutorials. For example, this tutorial talks about a reply bot. We have seen bots in the home page. Bots are a popular way of Reddit's engagement. The tutorial is giving us steps to monitor, analyze, and then automatically reply to a submission. Similarly, if you want to collect a particular data point, just search for the data point in the box and we'll get a lot of methods for the same. For example, I have searched for comments, and as we can see, we can get comments from the front, from multi-Reddit, and from Reddit stream, subreddit, and so on and so forth. Now that we have an overview of how to collect data from Reddit, explore the data, and make connections to external websites such as the news, twitter.com, etc., we can make use of the platform to analyze and understand what happens on social networks.